On the news, Nigeria Governors Forum expressed worry over insecurity. Senate summons Minister of Finance over 7.5 billion naira secret withdrawal. And stakeholders call for joint effort to end child labor. Glad to have you here on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Nigeria after his 2-week visit to the United Kingdom for a routine medical checkup. The president left Nigeria on Tuesday, March 30, briefly after a security meeting with defense and intelligence chiefs, as well as other security sector managers. He is expected to resume official duties on Friday. The Federal Executive Council FEC on Wednesday approved a total of 20.1 billion naira for the acquisition of various operational equipment for the Nigerian Customs Service, as well as 5.6 billion naira for the construction of the Federal Inland Revenue Service building at Ilupeju Medium and Small Taxpayers Office. At the FEC meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on Wednesday, the Council also approved the project for the extension of the University of Ibadan's library at a sum of 532 million naira. This next report has the details. The Federal Executive Council FEC at its Wednesday meeting approved a total of 427 operational vehicles worth 14.55 billion naira, as well as the design, construction and supply of 2 NC-36M patrol boats in tune of 5.6 billion naira. This was disclosed by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, while briefing journalists at the end of the week's virtual FEC meeting.
The Ministry also presented on behalf of the Nigerian Customs Service a memo that was seeking for Council's approval for the design, construction and supply of 2 NC-36M monohull patrol boats in favor of Messrs. Port Plus Limited in the sum of 5,062,530,400 naira, inclusive of 7.5% VAT, with a delivery period of 12 months. The approval of Council for the design, construction and supply of 7 fast assault patrol boats and 7 regular patrol boats in favor of Messrs. Siwa West Africa Limited in the sum of 501,471 naira and 8 kobo, inclusive of 7.5% VAT.
The minister said further that Council also approved the sum of 539.2 million naira for the construction of the Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS building at the Ilupeju Medium and Small Taxpayers Office. Also addressing State House correspondents after the meeting, Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed, who spoke on behalf of the Minister of State for Education Emeka Nwajuba, said Council approved the projects for the extension of the University of Ibadan's library at a sum of 532 million naira.
Need to actually extend the library facility in the university. For many years, the University of Ibadan library actually had needed, real extension given the surge of the student population. And the extension project will comprise 2 suspended floors, 2 online reading areas, 3 cubicles, 1 physically challenged reading area, 4 seminar rooms, 1 reprographic unit. It will also include 6 staff offices and a journal publication unit.
The minister explained that for many years, the library for the University of Ibadan had been in need for an extension, especially for the sake of the increasing students' population. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has faulted the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, for denying that the federal government printed 60 billion naira in March to support allocation to states. The governor will accuse the federal government of monetary rascality, also tackle the finance minister for playing the ostrich. Obaseki said this while reacting to the denial by Zainab that his claim on the FG's printing of 60 billion naira was untrue. In a tweet, Obaseki said while he is not ready to join issues with the Federal Ministry of Finance, as he owes it a duty to offer useful advice for the benefits of the country. The Nigeria Governors Forum, NGF, has expressed worry over the recent attacks on security formations in Imo, Benue and other parts of the country. Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, who is also the chairman of the NGF, expressed this while briefing newsmen at the end of the forum's meeting on Wednesday in Abuja. Fayemi said the governors are particularly worried about the attacks on the correctional facility and the police command headquarters both in Imo State.
Members are particularly worried following what happened in Imo State, the attack on the correctional facility and the police command headquarters, and the release of prisoners and successive acts of violence and insecurity across the country. And Benue, the killings of soldiers at Benue. The forum has expressed its worry that it's time for us to revisit comprehensively the nature and depth of this security crisis, which would have gotten worse if states had not been taking the actions they've been taking individually and collectively. It is the steps taken at the state level that have managed to reduce the depth and the enormity of the security challenges. Nonetheless, it's still a worrisome development for us, and we feel we will need a special review of the entire gamut of the security issues that we're dealing with, and further engage the federal authorities, both at the political level and federal authorities at the security level, in order to deal with these multifaceted challenges of security that we have faced.
The Senate Committee on Public Accounts on Wednesday summoned the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, and the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, over the secret withdrawal of 7.5 billion naira from the account of National Automated Design and Development Council domiciled with the Central Bank of Nigeria. According to the report of the Auditor General for the Federation being considered by the Senate Committee, the first 3.8 billion naira was withdrawn in two installments of 2.8 billion naira in 2005 and 1 billion naira in 2006. When the committee asked the Director General of the agency, Jelani Aliyu, about the withdrawal, he said the money was withdrawn without the knowledge of the agency. And moving on, Borno State lawmaker and delegation member to the Economic Community of West African State, ECOWAS, Parliament, Haruna Michelia, has identified culture, religion and illiteracy as major challenges to women empowerment in the West African sub-region. According to the lawmaker, women and men possess the same capability, but religious and cultural barriers have done more harm to women's aspirations than any other known factors. Also speaking on efforts to address the continued marginalization of women in Africa policy making, members of the regional body representing Ghana, Ladi Ayamba, explains that this can be achieved by implementing the rights mechanisms across the continent.
Let's make a level playing ground. And the level playing ground, to be fair to the men, they didn't create it. It was just imposed on the women unconsciously by those religious and cultural factors. Now, these same religious and cultural factors inhibited the education of the women first. And once you are not educated, you are already on your back foot. And once women are educated, it's synonymous with being empowered, because they can go for any job, they can try, start any skills or business and so on.
Our governments, for that matter, our presidents who win, must stand by their word. During campaigns, they come. We are those who will sing the best, dance the best, jump and roll the best. They will tell us, oh, we are going to give you 40%. When we win women, we are going to appoint 40%. Let them win. It becomes a problem. Why can't they fulfill their promises? We should hold them. They go and then they sign MOUs. They sign so many documents about women on gender issues. At the end of the day, it doesn't work.
Parents need to do more to ensure that the future of the young generation is secured. This is a submission of the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tallen, while speaking at the 2021 International Year for the Elimination of Child Labour. Minister of Labour and Productivity, Chris Ngige, at the event solicited for the support of the development partners to help create a system that will address child labour in the country. TV360's Simisola Adigun has the details.
About 212,480 Child Rights Act complaints were filed at the National Human Rights Commission across the country in 2020. The issue of child labour is a major concern for governments at all levels, with many states in the country yet to domesticate the Child Rights Act. Protecting the next generation and putting a stop to child labour is the focus of discussion here as the world marks the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labour.
Every parent must and should have a responsibility to protect the child you bring into this world. Our children have been so abused, our children have been so bastardized. The spike of gender-based violence is not only affecting the girl child, but even the boy child is badly abused. I am using this forum to condemn all forms of child labor and child abuse in its totality. I'm also appealing that the remaining states, we still have quite a number of states in the northeast and northwest that are yet to domesticate.
Minister of Labour and Productivity Chris Ngige says government is doing everything possible to address child labour while calling on development partners to assist the country to achieve this goal.
The United States Labor Office and Commerce Department have built schools, hospitals, and made agriculture interesting in those areas through supporting the national government. And once you build schools and encourage agriculture, modern agriculture, put health facilities, and make life worth living there for the farmers, their children automatically will be well educated. They will also have good health facilities and have other good things of life, and the element of child labor or hazardous labor will be completely eliminated.
The interventions of the ILO under the framework of the ASEL Africa and the FMM West Africa projects, and I hereby say a big thank you to the government of the Netherlands and the EU for making this happen. They are the sponsor of the two projects that are supporting the launch of the national launch taking place today. I'm optimistic that with this enthusiasm demonstrated by all stakeholders and the commitment of the government, SDG 8.7 will be achieved in Nigeria.
The African Union, in collaboration with the International Labour Organization, marked the event with a call to a shift from commitment to action towards the achievement of the African Union Agenda 2063 and SDG target of 8.7. Simisola Adigun, TV360 News.
To restore Africa's values and culture and teach the younger generation to succeed as Africans, there is need for Nigeria to retrieve all the stolen artifacts scattered across Europe. A non-profit international organization, Stand Tall Africa Initiative, said this in Abuja at the launch of a program to encourage reading culture among the young ones. The culture director of the Stand Tall Africa, Emmanuel Oga, said over 50 researchers have been concluded which look into the areas of culture neglect being responsible for many social crises in the country today.
As Africa, we've lost so much of our relics and artifacts to the Western world. Most times these artifacts are discovered and they are kept in the museum out there. These artifacts are supposed to be in this country. They ought to be in our museums here in this country in display. Every country survives on its history. If our history is lost, we don't know what to tell our children. So these relics and artifacts and discoveries are to be returned to Africa, and that unit is responsible for that. The center has put up resources and individuals committee to see that such discoveries are lobbied for to be returned to the country, negotiated to be returned to the country.
The body said different initiatives have been put in place to encourage reading, which include scholarship, building of libraries and schools, organizing essays, competitions, among others.
If you compare the educational sector with other sectors like the entertainment sectors and all of that, you can see that educational sector is far down because of you have to do a lot of rigorous reading, and after you're finished reading, possibly come out with a first class, and then you start looking for a job. Unlike the other sector where you can script a line of song or something, and you see somebody come and sign you up, and of course, in quotes, they call it, you are blown. Are you getting me? But the center has put some motivational incentives together. We have scholarships. As I speak to you, this is our third year into the reading campaign. We have been able to reposition and rejuvenate about 26 libraries across Nigeria. How do we do that? We visit the schools and pick up the responsibilities of renovating their libraries.
These are two strong reasons why people don't read anymore. There's so much distraction as a result of the coming of social media. You talk about Facebook, Instagram, and all the rest of them. And then the next one is the poverty level. The children who are interested in learning, sometimes their parents don't have the money. And that's a challenge before us. That's why some of us who are doing humanitarian services, we are working so hard.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Malawi to destroy 16,000 expired COVID-19 vaccine. All this and more after the break. Welcome. Now let's take a recap of some of our top stories. The Nigeria Governors Forum, NGF, has expressed worry over the recent attacks on security formations in Imo, Benue and other parts of the country. Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, who is also the NGF chairman, expressed this while briefing newsmen at the end of the forum's meeting on Wednesday in Abuja. We also told you that parents have been advised to do more to ensure that the future of the young generation is secured. This is the submission of the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talen, while speaking at the 2021 International Year for the Elimination of Child Labour. In case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And now to COVID-19 stories and updates. Malawi will destroy over 16,000 expired COVID-19 vaccines donated to the country by the African Union. The Southern African country received over 102,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca jabs last month, but 16,400 were not administered before they expired. Malawi launched its inoculation campaign in March with the aim of immunizing 11 million people, or 60% of the population, by year end. But less than half of the doses donated by the COVAX vaccine shared facility have been administered, partly due to the vaccine hesitancy. We'll take a pause here and return with more stories and business. Do stay with us. Well, up next is Business Stories with Oyin Adekunle.
Thank you very much, Falashade, and welcome to Business News. The tech world recently went abuzz with news of Twitter's decision to base its African headquarters in Ghana. The social media company is already looking to fill 12 positions in the West African country, but will hold off on opening a physical office until COVID-19 pandemic subsides. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, via a tweet, said the open internet, free speech and online freedom are some of the reasons for choosing Ghana as its Africa location. While Nigerians in the spirit of Pan-Africanism celebrate with Ghana, it's obvious that Twitter's choice comes as a loss to Nigeria. Joining us now to discuss the implication of this development to Nigeria's tech world is the senior partner, E86 Limited, Benga Odeyemi. Mr. Odeyemi, thank you very much for joining us on Business News. Now, what do you make of Twitter's announcement to locate its African headquarters in Ghana, and are there implications for this on Nigeria's ICT sector?
Thank you for having me. What do I make of it? I think that every business has to make decisions that will bring about the best output. I think Twitter has done that. In the area of ease of doing business, Ghana is ahead of Nigeria. In the area of peace and stability, Ghana is ahead of Nigeria. So I see nothing wrong with that decision. For Nigeria, I think that we'll need to really get back and understand our foreign policy and our policy towards ICT, towards the technology community. Our goal is supposed to be to get all the help we can get and get all the major tech providers into the country. When we give up opportunities like this, especially when we give it up to very close neighbors, we're simply showing the rest of the world probably not ready for the competition that we're in. Well,
Mr. Benga Odeyemi, thank you very much for joining us on News Now. Moving on, the Civil Resource Development and Documentation Center has declared Jigawa State top among 36 states on Budget Transparency Index 2020 ranking. This was made known by the lead researcher of the center, Ralph Ndigwe, while presenting the 2020 Nigerian States Budget Transparency Survey, which was funded by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. Speaking on the survey, Ndigwe said there were impressive performance by most of the states in the score along various perimeters. He noted that while Jigawa State continued to be at the top of the sub-index, Ondo and Kano states ranked second and third places respectively, but Zamfara and Oyo states were the worst performers on the list. Well, that's it on Business News. We'll leave you now with Folashade Ogorinde for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Oyi. Moving on now to the foreign scene, one of the main leaders of the campaign against military rule in Myanmar has been arrested by security forces in the country. Friends and colleagues of Wai Mo Yang said he was arrested after security forces rammed him with a car as he led a motorbike protest rally. The 25-year-old has emerged as one of the most high-profile leaders of opposition to the February 1 coup that ousted the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi. Well, up next is entertainment reports.
Popular rap artist CDQ has been granted bail by the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, though he remains under investigation. On Wednesday night, men of the NDLEA arrested Sadiq Yusuf, popularly known as CDQ, in his Lekki residence. He was said to have allegedly violated the drug law following an intelligence report. NDLEA's Director on Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, confirmed his arrest, saying the case was still being investigated as some substance known as loud, a cannabis variant, was found in the rapper's house. Balashmada releases new video for World. This latest release serves as a follow-up to his widely accepted single Rush. The song has sparked a bit of controversy since its release. As regards the lyrics, Balashmada gives a visual treatment of the tune with some dark sides around societal issues. The music video was directed by S Music video director AJE Filmworks. And that is all that we have for you in the entertainment segment of News Now.
The 20th National Sports Festival rounded off on Wednesday, with Delta State emerging the overall winner for the 6th consecutive time. Delta was closely followed by Edo State, with Bayelsa and Rivers in 3rd and 4th positions respectively. Let's now join sports analyst Jide Olaniran for a review of the 20th National Sports Festival, which took place in Edo State, and what to look forward to in the next edition of the festival. Thank you very much, Mr. Olaniran, for joining us on News Now. What is your general assessment of the festival, and do you think the festival measured up to standard of what is expected of a sports festival?
All right. Thank you very much. My general impression of my assessment of the festival is mixed grill. It's a mixed feeling. The fact that, okay, it shows that Nigeria, the resilience of every Nigerian, the resilient spirit, the can-do spirit, the determination. Nigerians wanted to have this, especially the sports community wanted to have the festival. Despite the various postponements, we ended up having it. That's a kudos to the organizers, the host state, Edo, the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports, and all the stakeholders. We must give it to them. They were able to put the festival together. But when you look at the performances of the states, it shows that there is like a dichotomy between the states that they are really putting everything into sports, and states that are not putting enough or nothing, little or nothing into sports. For example, you look at the state in the south region of Nigeria, they did very well. When you look at the northern part of Nigeria, where you expect that there should be more investment into the youth, whereby and sport is one of the sustainable development goals that I feel that some of those states should be working towards. But you look at them, the number of athletes that are represented, some of those states, very few, and you expect, how are they developing the young people in those states? What is what is their determination to improve the human capital index of those states? Because if you look at it, you know that it's a far cry. It's like a different thing happening when sports is concerned in Nigeria, where some states don't want to do anything about sports, while some states are putting enough resources into sports. That is my impression, or what my assessment of the National Sports Festival is.
Now, why do you think Delta remained the best for the 6th time? I mean, this is the 6th time they're receiving this very prized position. Why do you think so?
Yeah, Delta States, this is like, since the state was created, this is like the 6th time that they were going to win it, and it's not far-fetched. It is the fact that they are investing more. They put into consideration the welfare of the athletes, and that is what matters.
Thank you very much, sports analyst Mr. Jide Olaniran, for giving us a review of the 20th National Sports Festival, which took place in Edo State. Thank you very much for coming on News Now. But that's it on our news bulletin. Thank you for watching. I am Fola Shadi. Ogurinde.